As it happens.
All right, Bob, you're all set.
All right, we'll call this meeting of the Buckfield Select Board to order for August 2025 at 6:31 p.m. And we do have a quorum tonight. Old business, the Education Exploration Committee update from Neil, who's come in and sat with me this evening.
All right, so as all of you are aware, we formed this committee to see the feasibility of withdrawing from RSU 10 for Buckfield, Hartford, and Sumner. And we were instructed to gather information and to decipher down what that information means and present it back to you guys. So probably the best thing for me to do is to read this presentation word for word and get it on record. That way we have it. Are you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, the committee investigated potential financial differences for independently operating in the Zinsket region separately from RSU 10, thereby forming an independent school district, which would have been called RSU 90 by the state of Maine. Because the formulas and figures used in school finance change from year to year, we grounded all of our work using actual numbers from the current 25 to 26 fiscal year, which is the current one that's going into effect. We broke it down into a couple different categories. The first one was revenue. To determine the state subsidy for our towns as a separate district, we obtained ED 279, which is a form that the state of Maine creates and populates based upon their information, and it is assigned to each school district. And that comes from the Maine Department of Education for what they named, again, RSU 90 for our district if we did withdraw. We added this to what the towns are already paying local share and additional local share as part of the current RSU 10 budget. As a result, we calculated the total fiscal year 26 revenue estimated for our hypothetical district to be $10,044,726. Please note, we removed the cost and subsidies related to the construction of the Mountain Valley Community School, as those figures are fully state funded and cancel each other out. Basically, what that means is part of the ED 279, they add that money in that school, but we can't count it for our income because that's not our school if we withdraw. So that was taken out as far as the numbers. The next category were the expenses. The committee obtained updated fiscal year 26 budget documents from RSU 10 and analyzed each line to estimate what it would cost to operate the schools in a fiscal year of 26 as is with no changes. And when I say no changes, meaning to staff, to classes, to any curriculum that is already being pre-planned for the fiscal year 26. When creating the budget, we included all RSU 10 lines clearly itemized as part of either BHS, BMS, or HSES, which are the three schools broken down: the Hartford Sumner Elementary School, Buckfield Middle School, and the Buckfield High School. And they were broken down into what they call cost centers. The committee then reviewed over 250 budget lines for system-wide costs, which are not broken down by region, as they are shared across RSU 10. These include things like nutrition, transportation, central office, business office, etc. We considered a similar sized district cost, current practices in RSU 10, and eliminating positions that we would not need as a similar district. To the best of our knowledge, we estimated the grand total for running RSU 90 in fiscal year 26 as is about $12,836,824.79. The gap is how we as a committee compared the anticipated fiscal year 26 RSU 90 revenue against the estimated expenses to function as a separate district or as is. It would leave the new district with a deficit of $2.7 million, almost $2.8 million. Understanding that the withdrawal process itself includes its own one-time expenses, such as raising funds for the first payment of summer salaries and legal fees, we felt it was reasonable to estimate that the three towns, if separated from RSU 10, would need to raise $3 million in addition to what is already raised with the new school budget that was already passed. It is important to note that the $3 million figure is what we believe it would take to separate and run our system as is in this year's financial context, and that our estimates could be incorrect. Drastic cuts to staff and programming could lower that amount. Unforeseeable events could increase it. It is worth noting that the combined tax increase for our three towns over the past 6 years as part of RSU 10 has been a total of $889,187. So for that past 6 years, that's the only increase our three towns have actually seen. I know we throw around a lot of percentages and a lot of numbers here or that, but when you get down to the numbers, that was the only increase for 6 years. Raising the 3 times as much in one budget cycle is unrealistic, meaning the $3 million for the tax increase. It would mean having to make drastic cuts, nearly a quarter of the entire school budget, which is equally unrealistic. At least at first, RSU 90 taxes would have to increase substantially while also cutting staff and programs. Essentially, our residents would pay more in taxes and we would have much less to offer the students. Recommendations. At this point, unless the 3 town select boards want us to continue, it may be time to dissolve the ad hoc educational exploration committee. The communities must decide what comes next. Those of you who attend the last school board meeting about the 25-26 school year budget will remember that whatever issue we tried to oppose, we as in Buckfield, Hartford, and Sumner, were voted down. The budget passed by only 36 votes. There were many citizens from our towns, clearly not enough had shown up. We would also like to recommend encouragement from the towns and the select boards to encourage the residents of all 3 of our towns to actively get more involved with the school board meetings, as well as gain more knowledge about the challenges facing the current RSU 10 school board. We all have a role to play to better serve our schools and taxpayer citizens. And of course, we have the numbers of what we, in the very last page is the breakdown of how much we actually paid in dollar amount for 3 towns over the 6-year increase from RSU 10. So that's the nuts and bolts. We're also assuming that all these numbers, not only that we got from RSU 10, but we got from all 3 towns, as far as taxes paid, taxes received, etc., were accurate as well.
Thank you, Neil,
Welcome.
and everyone else on the Education Exploration Committee. This is very thorough, and I know you guys have been chipping away at this for a really long time.
And I will say that we currently have 8 members on the board, one of which is a middle school principal for Derigo. So they went through the process of withdrawal.
Yeah.
So that person knows quite extensively all the ins and outs. We also had a person that used to be the director for transportation for RSU 10. So we also had that person to really dive into these numbers.
Yeah.
So. And as far as the committee is concerned, we do give thanks to all the board members of our board for all their efforts and stuff. And I just want to put that on record. Any questions? Well, there's Drew, I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We do have all the line by line numbers and everything up on the Google Drive that we created that the town has access to. All that stuff will stay there, and then the town will take it over, do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
Giving everybody time to look through these
I
numbers.
guess so,
Yeah.
because I'm all done.
I think Judy has her hand up.
Yes, Judy?
It's in, I don't know what to say. I hope you continue, ask the town how they feel about it. But do you realize our school numbers are going down? We're going to become a town of old folk, the way things are going. Are any of you aware of how many students are either homeschooled or go to other schools who don't go to the Buckfield schools?
I would not be aware of that. No.
Yeah, I
You're
don't know.
not. Well, I can count 13 just, looking around. But I think our per pupil cost is going up. I don't know if that's been considered. I'm sorry, that's my phone. I can't shut it off.
You're fine. I don't think we can hear.
I think that's something that should be looked at, the per pupil cost.
Do you have that information handy?
I don't have that here. It is on the Google Drive,
Okay.
broken down, and it's
Mhm.
very close to what the state of Maine, puts in their ED 279.
Yeah.
Format. Biggest reason why we didn't go off script with our assignments
Mhm.
was basically because we could go down a lot of rabbit holes.
For sure, for sure.
And unfortunately, 3/4 of all these costs are state mandated.
Mhm.
So you could have half as many students and you're still gonna be paying the exact same amount of money because it's state mandated or it's, or falls under contract with teachers, contract with administrators. And even if we withdrew and had our own school board and had all of our local control, you can't change this.
Yeah.
And even if we waited out for the next school, teacher contract, when that time came, it would never go down.
Mhm.
Contracts never go down when it comes to unions and that type of stuff. We even had a union rep, who was very knowledgeable, with the process, and he's like, you know, the lawyers would fight it all the way if we tried to be ununionized. We'd lose teachers because they want their benefits.
Mhm.
So it's, you know, it's, even if we had the $3 million to throw at it,
Sure.
and we started off on our own.
Mhm.
I just don't see how we can come up with that $3 million or even $2.5 million every single year by thinking outside the box, by getting all of the kids who are shipped out to stay here, because those numbers just don't add up.
Yeah.
You know, they add up to $200,000 or $300,000, sure, $400,000, sure, but not $2.5 million. The other things that we have to consider that is not in play right now is in a couple of years, we will have to fund. And I don't have the paperwork in front of me for the terminology, but basically it's special needs birth to 5 in our schools.
Mhm.
And we also have to fund not part-time kindergarten, pre-K. Okay. So all of that stuff is also coming down the road that we haven't even looked at because it's not here yet by state mandate, but it's coming.
Mhm.
And we don't know if the state's going to fund it, partially fund it. We just don't know.
Right.
All right.
I mean, I'm sure there are other avenues. Like Cameron mentioned, what was that, AOS?
Yes.
Other alternatives, but I'm just not sure how all that would work with withdrawing and the money. I mean, it's just it's an ungodly amount.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Can you briefly explain, what was it? AOS?
Without Googling it, I've looked into it one or two other times. It's just an alternative form of a school system. As I understand it, it would be, it'd still be, it essentially, we'd be part of RSU 10, but there'd be 2 separate
Right.
entities within that have their own debt and their own school board.
Okay.
Interesting.
Because when you take the cost per pupil that we have,
Mhm.
it's pretty close to these numbers without actually going line by line. You take per pupil times it by what the ED 279, which is what we have to go by with the state mandates.
Mhm.
It ends up being pretty close. At least without drastically cutting resources, plus other activities.
Yeah, sure.
So that's our report for you guys.
Neil,
Yeah, thank you
And-
very much.
and again, everyone else on this exploration ad hoc committee. Of course, this has been a discussion throughout our town for quite some time, so it's really, really excellent to have some like actual numbers and ideas down. So thank you.
Yes.
So I'd like some time to
Yeah.
digest and read
Sure.
and look at this. And I understand that your recommendation at this point is to dissolve
Mhm.
this committee. However, before doing that, I'm wondering if it would be beneficial to hold one final forum with the committee members present
Right.
to give the community, all three communities, folks the opportunity to express what are their concerns and what were they hoping to get out of this and where would they like us to go from here, because this doesn't need to be the end of our process of trying to improve education for our students.
Right.
And having the members of that committee at that meeting with all of this wealth of knowledge that you now have,
Right.
I think would be really
Very valuable.
helpful. How do you feel about getting in touch with the active members of the committee and seeing about putting together one final hurrah?
Right, well, we were still gonna have another meeting after the select board meet, that way we could, vote on dissolving it ourselves.
Right.
Obviously, it's gonna be open to the public, and it's gonna be held here.
When is that?
Maybe I was gonna ask that. Unfortunately, I just got a new phone and my calendar didn't update.
You're back.
Yeah, we can find that information.
I can get that.
Within the next week?
It's either this Thursday or next Thursday, I can't remember which Thursday.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that we can't have more.
Mhm.
I mean,
Certainly,
That's what I'm thinking.
yeah, certainly a local group, to help spearhead these, issues we want brought forth to the region
Right.
would be good. Even in the future, even if we don't go this route,
right,
you know,
I know as a citizen, I have concerns,
Mm.
I have thoughts, I have desires for our local schools, and there is some momentum going, and what I wouldn't want to see is for this to be a moment of, oh, well,
Right.
we tried, never mind, and
Right.
Right.
Let's see if we can
Right.
keep going with, why did we start this process, and
Right.
Mhm.
how.
so maybe if you on the select board can either come to that meeting and give us ideas of what we'll look at next, if it's a feasibility. And then kind of go from there, I guess.
Yep. And just gather some concerns from the citizens so that we can,
Right. As the community, where do you want this to go?
right,
And it may be that people want some time to think and digest,
Mhm.
and we can dissolve a committee, the
Right.
committee can dissolve itself,
Right.
and then folks can get back together again.
Right.
A few months down the road.
Right.
But I'd like it to be a community decision, not a
Yes.
board decision. I know that the next 2 weeks are really full for me. So that's, I'm wondering if a meeting could be at least one more week out.
Well, at the next meeting that we do have them, we can put it to a vote and see how all the board members feel.
Mhm.
Looking at the calendar of meetings for the town, are there some dates that work
there's
for us that we can give to Neil to take to the committee?
a big gap in September, I think. Oh, because Memorial Day.
You guys have, it's in my town manager's report, but you have a solid waste committee meeting, those of you that are on it, on September 23rd in Sumner.
Am I part of that now, or?
Sure are.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
September 23rd?
September 23rd, 6:00.
Should be our off week, so it'll be in Sumner at their meeting night at 6:00.
In
Yep.
Sumner.
And you're right, Bob, there's an extra Tuesday in September, which is why there's some,
Okay.
Is there a day of the week that the committee has been?
Thursdays,
Thursdays seem to
Yeah.
work best for
Yeah.
your.
Mhm.
I mean, I know sometimes it runs into the appeals board or planning board or whatever. The Petrosellis are on, but,
we still need another planning board member. They're not on the planning board anymore, so.
oh, they're not?
Just saying, if you get free time.
See what happens when you show up here? Yeah.
Sounds like Thursdays work for you.
Is there a Thursday? September, that what we're looking at?
I can't
Yeah.
do the 25th myself.
What about the 11th?
I mean,
That's the week in between
Mhm.
meetings.
Yep, I could do that one.
I'll put it
And you
in.
said you can't do the 25th?
I can't, no.
So if we ask Neil to take back
Yeah.
the 11th as first choice and 18th as second choice.
Okay.
What do
Okay
you
with
think?
me if everybody else can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for me.
so 11th is first, 18th is second,
What time do you usually?
6:30.
6:30, thank you.
And as a committee, maybe we can look and see. Review the attendance to your meetings and where it makes the most sense to meet. I mean,
Right.
70% of the people attending it from Hartford, should it be in
Right.
Hartford, should it be in Buckfield, you all figure that
All
out.
right. I mean, as far as the total numbers, more people show up here in Buckfield. Not saying that they're all from Buckfield, they're not, they're all three towns, but it tends to have more people show up as far as the location wise.
Okay. But as a committee, you
Right.
folks could make all
Yeah.
those decisions. Whatever's-
Yeah, we could zoom it. So,
For other people.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I think we should do that.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Neil. We really appreciate it. Incredible work you guys have done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Neil.
So we can announce on the 2nd when and where that meeting will be,
Okay, Yep.
correct? Because that would be at least a week out, is that right?
Mhm.
Cameron, so we're all good with that?
all right.
At one point Judy had her hand up.
Oh.
Now I can't even see her, so I don't know.
Judy, did you, oh, she's just, okay.
I'll
She
let
may
you know when
have
she
been
comes
moving
back.
her.
I'll bet she'll get back to us on it. All right. Old Church on the Hill.
This is just a discussion item. I had included a copy of an email I had forwarded to all of you shortly after the election from Maine Preservation in regards to, Brad Miller had stated that if there was any way that they could help communicate or market the opportunity for lease or sale of the old church, to let them know. I hadn't gotten any guidance, so I included it on the agenda because I know it's in the parking lot. People keep asking about the parking lot, so.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
if you want to have a discussion
Do
about
we
it.
have any members of the Old Church on the Hill Committee?
You,
Do,
I think it's 2 right now, isn't it?
Yeah, Kate and Judy, I believe, right?
Not Judy. Both
No.
committees. Kate and John Hall. Because Everett is termed out, and so hasn't Richard Irons.
So if there was ever a time for people who have an interest in the Old Church on the Hill to come together on a committee or at least attend committee meetings
Right. Now's the time.
to help inform choices. There,
Did you need further guidance on, are you gonna send something to them or that's
I don't really know what to send him because we haven't really discussed what we're doing. Are we looking to sell it? Do I need to talk to the attorney and see if he can, I mean, we gotta have a plan before I go to the attorney too on drafting anything up, because $185 an hour adds up quick.
we probably need some guidance from him on what we can do, right? I mean, we've got the warrant, so.
I had reached out to him prior to the election
Yep.
regarding it, and he had provided me some guidance. But really, I mean, it comes down to what are we doing? Are we selling it? Are we leasing it? Are we putting together some sort of advertisement looking for anybody interested in purchasing or leasing it and maintaining it as is or as something different? Like, I mean, there's a lot to it. So I don't really know what to email him about marketing the opportunity because I don't really know what the opportunity is.
Yeah.
can we put together a meeting, a time to give the community the opportunity to weigh in on what they would like to see done?
Yeah.
And ultimately, I'm sure the soon to be 5 of us can come up with something,
Right.
but it's not about what we think, it's what the community wants, so.
Well,
But
that was kind of asking the question of the public if we could do it. And I sort of feel like based on the results, a lot of people are like, yeah, this is what we want. Now figure it out, which is kind of the frustrating part about it because there's not a lot of people that are sitting here. I mean,
my thought would be to have it be pretty open-ended. I think we're open to most anything that shows an improvement.
Exactly. I
Right.
feel like we're pretty flexible when
Yeah.
it comes to the old church. And yeah, like we said, like selling it isn't out of the question, and that's why we put it on the warrant. And the people approved it.
Not
But
that
would
I'm-
we sell it with stipulations?
Well, yeah, it was like it had to
Yeah,
be.
that was part of
That
the
was part of the warrant. was
So what would
it
have
have to,
stipulations?
it would have to maintain the
aesthetic
similar looking exterior.
general appearance or whatever.
Right.
with room to update for fire code or whatever they needed, depending on what it was going to be used for.
That we matter figuring out what does that mean? Can they replace all the windows? Can they remove the steeple? Could they? I think we just need to,
Mhm.
we have to come up with what all those parameters would be.
Maybe we could have like a RFP on it. Like, what could you do? You know, and if they say we want to maintain, you know, give us some idea what if they lease it, this is what we want. If we buy it, you know, just so that we have some idea, because like you, I don't know which way to head with it.
Right. Other than the direction of it not falling down.
Yes, we don't want that.
So I'm thinking the purpose is not for this to be a source of income. So we don't need to really make money from the sale or lease. It's finding the right person, group to preserve.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So it will be an expense,
Yeah.
but if the lease or purchase cost is marginal,
Mhm.
then someone may very well be able to afford that.
Mhm.
Can you workshop it?
Can.
We just let everyone know that this is what we're talking about at the next meeting.
But
Great question.
yeah,
Create a Google form and pass it around.
Yeah.
Judy's,
Yes, Judy. Go ahead, Judy.
May I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, remember that it's now 5 years since that they were concerned and they shut it down. They used to use it for weddings and other things. It has no water. That's a big problem. And they had arranged with the people across the street, you know, to park for parking. And I don't know what they did for bathroom facilities. But what concerns me is that it was fairly, according to the people who looked at it several years ago, it's in pretty good shape except for the steeple. Suppose we get a huge wind and that steeple comes out and hits some of the houses. That worries me. It happens. So I'm just telling you, you know, we keep pushing this can down the road, but we have to do something at some point. Thank you.
Thank you.
I agree, Judy, although I do not think the steeple is close enough to any neighboring houses.
Mhm.
I say we make it a agenda item on the next meeting. We advertise it now and leading up to the next meeting to give people plenty of time to chew on it and anticipate coming, submit comments if they're unable to make it. And then we can decide an official direction from there.
the next meeting. The 19th. Thank you. That was all.
Thank you.
All right. Select board evaluation and goal setting. We started one.
Yeah,
Yeah. So we're going to compile that information and get it out to everybody. We've done a self-evaluation on the board as a whole and ourselves personally, and then we're going to,
we'll compile it and identify those areas where we want to target improvement.
For sure.
I didn't see any surprises.
No surprises, but I
Okay.
think seeing it in front of me helped me focus on where I personally feel I can find improvement on my own.
Yep.
So I'll compile this information, come up with the average, share that with everybody and bring that to the next meeting and we can set our goals.
I would
at the
appreciate
next
it.
meeting.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
thank you. 451 ambulance replacement repair. Yeah, Deputy Chief Ben Lemrick here we're miking him up now. Oh, great.
You're welcome to come sit in the chair.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Still got to use the mic though.
Oh, okay. I don't look good in this chair though, and I don't live in town. Cam, were you able to print off that email with the numbers on it, or?
It's in their package.
Okay, cool.
I also forwarded, I got a hold of Kyle over at Autotronics.
Yep.
I got build sheets and prices on 3 units,
Yep.
two of the 4x4s and 1 van chassis.
Yep.
So I didn't include that in their packets because it's about 100 pages of documents, but I did print them out so that they're here.
Yeah.
If they choose to have a warrant article at the next special town meeting on November 4th.
Yeah. So in the long run, I spoke with Ripley's today. They're about midway through their quote to repair 451. The only thing they're waiting for is it to go to the body shop next for a quote from the body shop. Right now, just parts, it's about 9,700. I think only guess the body shop's going to be another couple thousand, because it's going to be that whole rocker panel, and I think it goes into the floor pan a little bit of the driver's seat. So I can imagine that's not going to be another cheap fix. So you know, we're looking at a minimum right now, 97 just from Ripley's. Unfortunately, with two being out for so long, it kind of pushed back one getting in for a quote. So we're still going to send it to two other shops so we can have 3 quotes, so we can do our due diligence with that. It just kind of kept getting pushed back and pushed back. And then all the numbers myself and Chief Blackgear got for a new ambulance, a remount, a used, and then you know once we actually get all the final numbers for replace or repair, then we can add those in. Right now, in the long run of it, or in the short run of it, it really comes down to what you guys want to do. Do we want to spend more money on 14 or 15-year-old truck?
Up there.
It's up there, yeah. It's 2012. And keep fixing it or go from there.
Get more information, so I was just, so at the last meeting, people were questioning how many hours were on the truck. 451 currently has 12,089 engine hours, 8,286 of those are idle hours. I think it was Bob who had given me a figure, but I Googled it just to confirm, and his figure was correct. When you're looking at the hours on an engine, you would take each idle hour, or each hour, engine hour would be the equivalent of 30 miles of driving. So if you do the math, that truck, even though it's got 111,000 miles on it, it has more like 362,000. It's a gas ambulance, not a diesel engine. To put that into comparison, 452 has 3,000 hours on it, which is the equivalent of 108, and we're at like 85. So there's a huge difference between those two trucks, and you can see how much more wear and tear have been on that truck. So all of this tonight is just really us providing you as much information as you can. As soon as we have those 3 quotes, I'm hoping before our next meeting, we'll have those for you to look over. But I just wanted to provide as much information for all the options as we could, including where the truck's currently at. You had mentioned 452 being in the shop. You guys are familiar because I reached out to all of you. We had to put $10,000 into that truck, between an ECM, a transmission valve body, and then you have to service the transmission, plug wires. We replaced the alternator. Fuel tank apparently only had 1 tank strap on it, so that's been replaced. The rear brakes have been done. The problem there being we have expended our apparatus budget line on that 1 truck, and it's only August. So whatever we do decide to do is going to have to come out of the reserve account, whether that's fix it, buy used, get approval from the voters for a new one, use that as a down payment, or whatever. That's where we're at right now.
Yes.
When do you anticipate, I know things change, that we will have all 3?
So it has an appointment on Friday at another shop. Like I said, we were hoping to get the truck back yesterday or today. I called Ripley's, they were still trying to get into the body shop. So I told them at the latest I need to pick it up by Thursday, to get it to the other appointment on Friday, and then it'll probably be there for probably till at least Friday, maybe till Monday. And then we can try to get it into a third shop. We're just trying not to reschedule stuff because it seems to just take longer and longer every time it goes to another shop. So that's kind of held us up a little bit. But when is the next meeting? 2 weeks?
Next meeting's in 2 weeks. If I get the quotes before then, I will share them with all of you before then, so you don't get them right before the meeting.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were going to have them for tonight, but obviously 452 being in the shop as long as it was prevented us from being able to send it right out. Worst case scenario, if something does happen to 452 while we're still trying to figure this out, Autotronics does rent ambulances by the day.
At 125.
It's $125 a day, so it's like $43,000 a year. So wouldn't make sense to just rent one long term, but if that were to happen, it's at least an option. We just don't want to have to rent one for too long,
Of course.
because that eats away at any of the revenue that we get too. Plus, if we're renting it, we don't get any calls that day. We just spend $125 to have a truck being gone. Yeah. So I did include, I get emails from Remanufactured too. They've got some units in there. I don't know as if I emailed that one to you. I can forward that email to you guys. But
That one, I think I flipped through their website.
but those are new chassis, reman box.
Right.
Which is what we would have done with our truck
5 years ago.
2 years ago is when we planned to do
Yeah.
it. Looking at the hours on that truck, we probably shouldn't have bought a truck with that many miles on it. But I don't think those questions were asked when we originally bought it. We were in a bind and needed to replace.
We're at where we're at.
Yep. Here we are. Yep.
Okay, so we should have more information
Yep.
for the next meeting and
Yep.
then.
Would you be able to, when we get that information on the codes, would you guys be able to just estimate how much we're paying per year on that 451's maintenance and repair?
Last year, we actually didn't spend that much.
Yeah, we really,
And good.
honestly, yeah, right up till now, the trucks have been fairly steady. It feels like this year they all just both decided to
Yeah,
kind of kick the bucket at the same time.
The average. that you
Right.
would
the
expect.
average, or yeah, what can we expect in the next 2 years? Because, one option is that we do take a new, this vote, or take it to a vote for a new ambulance purchase, but in the meantime, for those, 2 years in between, just continue running maintenance. And just it would be helpful to know if that could potentially be cheaper than buying a new used ambulance, or if it just
Right,
wouldn't be worth it.
oh, definitely.
We've budgeted $10,000 a year for ambulance maintenance for
Yeah.
as long as I've been here.
Mhm.
I didn't increase it this year because I didn't anticipate big repairs.
Yeah, of course.
So there's really no quantitative data to use to say this is how much it's costing us because
But
this
like,
year.
could the shop be like, oh, you can anticipate having to take care of this,
I mean, really for the most part, our regular maintenance is your fluids, tires, and any ambulance I've ever worked around, they chew apart front ends. It doesn't matter if it's a van, a truck, anything. They all, every time you send them in somewhere, they need a front end alignment
Mhm.
and probably a part or two in the front end.
Yeah.
For the most part, that's really it. Every once in a while, like if fuel tank strap will rust out, or over time the body will start to rot apart.
Yeah.
But I mean, like for the most part, unless it's kind of a fluke thing, like with the transmission and stuff like that,
Mhm.
it's really the maintenance is quite simple on them.
Okay.
Downtime's the true cost.
Yeah, that's really, yeah.
Right.
And then unfortunately with two being down, I mean, we've been only using one for the last month.
Hmm.
So that definitely put a lot more wear and tear on that with two being down.
Okay, thank you.
And you've been busy.
Yeah. So I haven't even looked at the metric numbers for July or,
48 calls.
been a busy month.
Yeah.
160 year to date.
Yeah,
We're pacing to run more than we did last year.
we're well above average.
Yeah, that's a trend throughout right now with EMS. I'm not sure why, but
Right. Well, thanks for coming, Ben.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for this information.
Oh, yeah, as soon as we get those quotes, we'll make sure to, I mean, they get sent right to Cam, so they'll have them first.
If you pull up the Buckfield EMS email, all those quotes are.
Okay, yeah, that goes straight to Chief Blackyer. I don't even see those unless
Just
you.
let her know that I sent them over.
Okay, yeah, definitely, yeah. Yep. Hopefully we'll see you guys again in 2 weeks.
all
Thank you,
right.
Ben.
And this is really good reading material if anybody wants to go through it.
Good stuff.
Excited.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just press and hold the side button to shut off.
Any further discussion on that? No. New business, the consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Further discussion?
I didn't put it in the spreadsheet, so you'll have to read the amounts from each one.
Oh, the totals.
Yeah, I don't have the grand total, so if you want to add them together.
Here, on my calculator. 295, 23. One.
Uh-oh.
That's the one I need, yeah. 4. 28. What?
So that's a total,
Okay,
and then it's just,
so the total on that is $373,004.10.
it's payroll warrant 7, 6, 9, and AP warrant 8 and 10.
Thank you. No further discussion on that? Nope. All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
Peter, aye.
Sandra, I.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes from the July 15th, 2025 select board meeting.
I will make a motion. We approve the minutes from the July
15th.
15th, thank you, select board meeting.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? Oh, I didn't see anything in there either. All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
Peter, aye.
Sandra, I.
All right. Municipal quit claim deed. They're all set.
We need to accept this.
So we get a bunch of phone calls regarding a property that the town of Buckfield own. Because apparently it was listed for sale. I spoke to the potential buyer and the title company, prior owners attempting to sell it. I explained to them that in order for them to do that, the town would have to deed that back to them, but they would need to pay all the back taxes. So speaking with the title company, they've agreed that they will pay us $12,491.67, which is all the property taxes, interest and costs. And they'll collect that at closing from the proceeds, but they need a deed that's ready to go at the closing so they can then deed it to the new buyer. So that'll wipe out all the debt on that account. So rather than list it with a realtor, we have the opportunity to collect everything and then deed it back to the prior owner, and whatever she does with it from there is
Sure.
Hopefully somebody will do something with the property and clean it up.
So are the words approve or sign? What do I?
Make a motion for the board to sign.
I'd like to make a motion that the board sign quit claim deed 013-003-006, property at 43 Turner Street.
I'll second that. Further discussion?
You don't foresee any risk here with the sale falling through. We've signed it back to,
No, because it's
Whoever.
going directly to the title company. So if they don't receive the proceeds, she won't get the deed.
perfect.
All right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Delia, I.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
Public Works, 2014 Freightliner repair. Needs a clutch, I hear.
I included the quote inside your packets. So the truck's not drivable, so we've already towed it to Big Rig. Chris had looked at it and he said he thought it was the clutch. I told him I wanted him to send it over to the shop to get a final opinion. This quote is if they aren't able to turn the flywheel. If that's the case, that should reduce it like $3,000. But as is, if they do have to replace the flywheel, it's going to cost $9,611.64. And I can't approve that. So we need to get the clutch fixed because we need it to haul winter sand. So
Yep.
right now it's just a lawn ornament. Now, if you ask me about maintenance on big trucks, it'd be a totally different story.
You don't see any value in towing it somewhere else and getting another quote?
Any savings we would see would be eaten up with towing charges. So
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Very few places will actually work on it, unfortunately. Yeah.
All right, I will make the motion that we approve the repairs to the 2014 Freightliner truck.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
Further discussion? All right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Delia, I.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
Thank you. All right, committee appointments.
I move that we appoint Tim Brackett to the road committee for a 3-year term.
I will second that.
Further discussion? All right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Delia, I.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
Great, thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Tim.
now they can have a meeting.
Huzzah.
Very exciting, yeah. Cost recovery for the fire department.
All right. So as you all know, the ordinance had passed town meeting for the ability to bill certain services that the fire department performs, to try to recoup some of the costs associated with motor vehicle accidents and other things. Non-residents in particular was part of the ordinance. We have actually, I think in your packet, there's a copy of the agreement. You'll notice it's dated July 2024. Nothing's changed since Bill from cost recovery had come in on that. But in order to begin doing this, and before we can even enter into a contract, we have to set a fee schedule. So I had Bill send over varying options from other towns, and it seems to be relatively consistent. These are the same figures that Paris Fire and New Gloucester Fire use. So I put it together in a fee schedule specifically for it, and I think I included it in your
You
packet.
did, yeah.
It's pretty simple, cut and dry. There's 3 different levels with add-on services such as extrication, which is part of the ordinance. So what I'm looking for is discussion, amendments, and/or approval of the fee schedule, and then discussion to allow me to sign the contract so we can begin utilizing that service when we have the opportunity to. Questions, concerns, ideas?
So when they get a payment,
Mhm.
so does the payment go to them and then they pay us?
It's similar to our rescue billing. So like right now, medical reimbursement services collects. So if a payment comes in here for a bill, we actually forward it on to them. They deposit everything, they account for everything. And then at the end of the month, I get a statement that shows what I got. They actually deposit into our account throughout the month, whether it's a electronic transfer right from the insurance company or whatever. They collect it, and then I believe it's broken down on page 2. Under compensation, it says, when the total amount due the customer reaches $2,500 or greater in a quarter, any additional collections are due 15 days after the end of the quarter. So it looks like they pay out quarterly from this agreement, which this isn't going to be like rescue billing. You know, we're not going to be looking at $10,000 to $20,000 a month. We might be looking at $2,500 a quarter if we're lucky, depending on, you know, because again, this isn't going to affect taxpayers in Buckfield. This is going to affect companies, the insurance companies primarily for people that are from outside of Buckfield to try and recoup those costs. So hopefully that ends quarterly. That's the long way around that, Peter, sorry.
Do you have any information on what would make creating a landing zone cost $450?
It's what other fire departments are charging. It's usual and customary.
Sure.
You have your resources out, you get your manpower out, you get your equipment out. Actually, nothing's changed in this. I believe I provided a copy of this to you guys back in July when he was here presenting on this. Or not July, it was before then. It was before town meeting.
Yeah.
That was almost a year ago,
Yeah.
probably.
It's been a while.
I think he may have put July 2024 because that would have been after town meeting. I did ask him to send me an updated copy with new dates. Because all I had was the paper copy.
Question.
Oh, yes.
When do we seek reimbursement? Which fire calls, which,
So that's in the ordinance, which is in my office.
but
I said that's in the ordinance, which is in my office.
If my memory serves me, when it's not a resident of Buckfield and someone who is insured.
And it's specific for hazmat incidents, vehicle fires, vehicle accidents in which there's extrication or a tie-up on a road where we have to do traffic and safety or scene and safety services for an extended period of time. I believe those are the 4 main ones.
Our ordinance is quite conservative
Yeah, it's only 2.5 pages long.
compared to some towns charge everybody. And, you know, these things can take hours. You just, you know, and those hours add up like the mileage on that ambulance. They just sit there and idle and with no recovery in it at all, especially for the fire department.
Well, and manpower, you know, an accident on Street Kid isn't just somebody at the scene. You get somebody at the top of the mountain at each road, diverting traffic, detouring them. You get somebody at the bottom of the mountain. You've got, you know, signs and stuff that are out there. If they're damaged or lost, that's an expense to the town that gets, you know, usually it's just, we eat it.
Yep.
By recouping some of these costs, we can pay for that stuff that normally happens with no other way than to collect it through tax dollars. We've all lived here long enough to know that Street Kid is the infamous one. Or the corner on Hebron Road.
Yes.
I will make a motion that we adopt this cost recovery fee schedule.
I'll second that.
Further discussion? All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
Okay.
And I suppose I will also make a motion that we sign the cost recovery contract with Central Maine Cost Recovery.
I will second that.
Further discussion on that? Yes.
I don't want to tell you to amend your motion.
Yeah.
Would you consider amending your motion to allow me to sign it? Because there's only one line.
Gotcha. I would like to amend my motion to have Cameron Hinckley, Town Manager, sign our contract with Central Maine Cost Recovery.
I will second that amended motion.
All right, further discussion on that? Nope. All right, all those in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
Would have been really funny to watch you guys try to put all your signatures on that one line.
Do it.
Squeeze it in.
We could do it.
MMA annual election, designates town manager to sign.
You can do it either way. It's got spots for you to sign, or you can designate me to sign it. And there's only 4 options to vote for, and you have to vote for 4, and you can't do a write-in.
Mm,
I move that we designate the town manager to sign the MMA annual election.
I will second that.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, Bob, aye.
Azalea, aye.
Peter, I.
Sandra, I.
All right. Other business? Yes,
I
sir.
just have a question about the guardrail on the bridge. I know it's not our
Mhm.
responsibility, but what is going on with that?
DOT has not communicated with us about what their anticipated repair date is. I can reach out to the local guy and see if he has any insight.
I understand it's gonna take a while, but
No, I haven't heard anything from DOT. I figured from a safety perspective, they would have already fixed it, but
Mm.
I don't know. I can reach out to him this week and see if I can get an answer.
They've done a nice job over Street
Mhm.
Kid.
Smooth sailing. I hope they might have contacted CMP about that
Yeah.
one tangling.
Like that.
I hope someone paving that road was like, "It's not supposed to be like that."
Yeah,
I'll
that,
follow up.
that generated a fire call.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh, how fun.
Somebody thought the pole was broke, which it is, I guess,
Right?
In a way.
is not.
that pole is broken.
Yeah.
Just been that way for a long, long time.
And a sign, yes, we know.
Everyone's still broken, check.
I know we blew through it on
I was gonna ask you about your report.
the consent agenda. I should have just put it under a different category, so I'll hit on it just because,
Yes, please.
yes, please.
I was going through the notes and I'm like, oh, I didn't get him.
You missed it. Where is it?
It's in here, I saw it.
It's pretty
We're at
close.
the beginning. Right after the ambulance.
All right, so, as you all know, and I want the public to know, nomination papers became available on July 29th. Nobody's currently taken them out
Just for the,
for the
Select
open
board.
select board seat for the election in November. So if anybody's interested in running for selectman, I suggest they come take out papers as soon as possible because they're only available for 40 days from the 29th.
And that term will only be
It'll
6 months.
It'll be like 6
7,
months
8,
and then
8 months.
they'll have to, if they're interested in remaining, they'll have to rerun again for June. Deputy clerk resigned effective immediately on July 28th, citing personal reasons. That position's been posted on MMA's website as well as Indeed. And I'm currently collecting applications as they come in. It'll remain open until it's filled. Kingston has finished his time with Buckfield as a code enforcement officer, LPI, and E911 officer. As I previously discussed, Manny has agreed to step up. He's already studying. He's got his temporary authorization to be the LPI. He'll be taking his test soon. Those roles, the assessor, code enforcement, E911, they kind of all just,
Flow together.
yeah, they flow together, complement one another. That's the word I was looking for. So it'll be nice because we'll have the code enforcement officer in the town office. So if people come in We won't have to give out a cell phone number. He'll be able to answer the question to the best of his ability or reach out to somebody that can help. I do want to thank Kingston for all of his help throughout COVID and multiple town managers. He,
Yeah.
you know, he's done a lot for the town of Buckfield. I still think he's crazy for going back to active duty Army, but I wish him luck. Manny's completed all site visits for the 25-26 tax year. He continues to review accounts for accuracy and ensure smooth commitment in September, October. The town has received all public assistance funds associated with the December 23 emergency declaration. I have the exact number written on my board, but it was in the ballpark of $160-ish thousand. The batting cage has been installed and is all good to go. We're just waiting to finish up the dugout over at Bessie Field, which the contractor's working on it. I just gotta light him up and then get him to go a little faster. I did get an extension on it to the end of August, so we're still within compliance. Fall soccer registrations are open. They're available on the town's website. If you go to Recreation Department under Departments, cost to register is $45 per child. For families with more than 2 children, the fee is locked at $90 and it's automatically discounted. Warren Hood visited me last week. Any of you have been to the rec field? The town has that 3.5 acres that sits out behind the ball fields. It's been overgrown for years. He asked me if it would be all right to mow it, seed it. So I gave him permission because it looked like crap. So Public Works went down there and cleaned up the trees that had overgrown, moved the rocks back so that he could do that. If you get a chance to look at it, it looks really nice. So he'll keep mowing that while he's doing Dana and Siri Lowell's property, which means our Public Works department doesn't have to do it, and it'll look nice. And it also can be used as extra parking because parking's always an issue over there. So we got that done. Solid waste. Maine Waste Energy submitted special assessments to all member towns to rectify their cash reserve issues we had discussed, I think, at a prior solid waste meeting, maybe at a select board meeting as well. Buckfield and Sumner have been assessed $29,333. That was not anticipated in the budget, so it'll most likely have to come out of the solid waste bank account along with the overage from last year. But it's not the $600,000+ that Auburn had to come up with. So,
Wow.
Archie's visited the office in July to inform us that their rates will be going up, which I had anticipated. I haven't seen them yet. I'm assuming they're going to be on this month's statement. So that cost is going up. Mattresses continue to rise in disposal costs. They're now $30 a mattress over the last 2 months. We've been charged for the disposal of close to $50. That's $1,500 just in mattresses. And then I urge the solid waste committee to at least consider implementing a fee for disposing of mattresses at their next meeting, because I don't know where they're coming from, but they're coming more and more. The DEP conducted an annual site inspection in May. Public Works has been working to correct minor deficiencies like the back door on the electronics thing. The door didn't work. It was supposed to be locked. I had Tim Brooks come in, fix the rail so that door locks now. For some reason, there wasn't a lock on the gate. I've installed new locks and made sure everybody knows they need to be locked at all times when we're not there. They wanted us to install wind fencing. I don't know if you've seen what wind fencing is, but they're massive and they cost a lot of money. So what I did is I ordered a lot of 6-foot high, like snow fence. And we're going to install that in the gaps where things can blow away, just to prevent stuff from getting down over the embankment towards the river. So they'll be working on that in between working on the roads and everything else they're doing. And then the next solid waste committee meeting is scheduled for September 23rd at 6. We have finally filled the last Public Works driver position. Roland will be joining the crew on the 18th of August. He comes to us with over 20 years of experience in public works and equipment operation. Paving on Paris Hill and Brock School Road should begin in late August. I'm thinking more like September because we still have some work to do to those roads before we're ready for it. But they're currently working on prepping those roads. And then Preston gave me a list of things. I plugged it in so that it would put it in a sheet. Last month, Public Works added gravel to the shoulders on Bear Pond Road, which I'm sure everybody's seen. They've been cutting brush all over the place, but they did some near Bryant Road, near Route 117. They've done brush cutting on Darnett Road, Brock School Road, performed ditching along sections of the roadway placed a culvert up on Brock School Road. North Hill Road, they've repaired washouts on both sides of the hill, added a new culvert and completed shoulder work. Ditched the bottom portion of the hill near 117. That project spanned about 2 weeks. Equipment and vehicle maintenance, they repaired the rear seal on truck 17, obtained the quote for truck 16, which you just approved. And then our newer mower, the mowing deck had broken through, so it was cutting uneven. Well, we discovered it and had to have the mowing deck welded back together. So that's been fixed and is back in service, so there shouldn't be any more unevenly cut grass from that one. The summer help has mowed the cemetery, all the town properties, cut brush and pulled back banks at the recreation field, like I just discussed. They've been hauling 3/4 inch gravel from Auburn for upcoming projects, and then they're beginning ditch and brush preparation on Paris Hill Road, and then we'll move down to Brock School Road for that. And they've also been cutting around guardrails. So that's what they've been up to. And then I think you kind of hit on Stacy's report already, right?
Well, I didn't detail it.
So there's 48 calls for service for the month of July. Total calls year to date, 260. 26 daytime calls between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., 22 calls at night between 6 p.m. and 6 a.m. 31 of those calls were in Buckfield, 1 in Hartford, 12 in Sumner, and then 1 in Turner, Hebron, Canton, and Norway. Provided 27 BLS calls, 21 ALS calls, 1 fire standby. We requested mutual aid from PACE 8 times, 4 from Turner, 1 from Auburn. And then we provided mutual aid for PACE twice, Turner once, and Medcare once. That must have been in Canton or Hartford. Canton.
It can, yeah.
Okay. And then you guys already know that 452 is in the shop for a couple weeks. So no upcoming events, and that's where we're at with rescue.
Thank you. Sorry, I missed that.
No, it's fine. I just figured if I wrote it, I might as well talk about it.
Yeah. Any other business? Public comment?
I think it's just us now. Judy dropped out.
Did you drop off? Okay. No public comment? All right. So, unless anyone has anything else, I'll make a motion that we adjourn at 7:44 p.m.
I will second that.
All in favor? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, you and the whole committee.